XRP is going to be the bank's hidden plumbing. That's a direct quote from one of the creators of the XRP ledger. Now you'll notice on the thumbnail of this video, I got a couple of the creators of the XRP ledger. We have David Schwartz, Jed McCaleb, and then that third person is actually Ryan Fugger, who created the Ripple network, the Ripple payments network. It goes all the way back to 2004, even before Bitcoin. Now, the direct quote, though, the description of the hidden plumbing, that's actually a quote from the third creator of the XRP ledger, Arthur Brito. But nobody can find a picture of Arthur Brito. He doesn't exist on the internet. And so the quote is from Arthur Brito, but in this video, we're going to go back and look at this original vision, the purpose, the hidden plumbing, and really where this whole concept and idea of XRP is not meant for retail. Well, what is it meant for? Is it meant for derivatives? Is it meant for wholesale banking, financial system payments on the back end? I think that many of us understand that Ripple is working on using the XRP ledger for that. But the beautiful thing about this neutral bridge currency that's completely permissionless is that we can all use it for whatever the heck we want. If you want to put memes on the XRP ledger, you can. But in this video, I'm going to show you some interesting clips going all the way back to 2006, before the inception of Bitcoin. That's how far back this goes. This is a plan, a grand plan for Ripple payments that goes back over 20 years. Imagine holding on to this vision and plan for 20 years. Some folks have only been holding this for a few months or a couple years, and we're whining and complaining that XRP price hasn't gone up. Imagine being in this for 20 years and still not seeing it come to complete and full utility and fruition yet. With that being said, though, it is a massive goal. We're talking about putting a dent in the universe type of conversations about reserve currencies. It's a big deal. So without further ado, I want to get right on into this update. If you guys missed it, and what's so interesting is I titled this video, XRP, the bank's hidden plumbing. Today, Ripple also announced new custody solutions and integrations that they're offering for banks. They just come on out and say it, that yes, we are offering our Ripple custody services for banks, and they've integrated into the DEX and some other features. I'm going to deep dive that into a separate video. And then it also came out this morning breaking that the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit, Ripple is going to file a cross appeal. So I just dropped an update on that this morning. Make sure you guys have checked out that one. And without further ado, let's get into this update right here. So apparently it's October 10th, Thursday. We're going to be watching today and tomorrow as space weather forecasters have issued a severe G4 geomagnetic storm watch for the 10th and 11th of October. This can impact infrastructure in near Earth orbit and on Earth's surface, potentially disrupting communications, power grid, navigation, radio, and satellite operations. So we got the hurricane a couple weeks ago, got a hurricane yesterday. The eye of the storm has passed, still a little bit of a storm going down there in Florida. Our prayers are with them, and thankfully it did drop down to a category 3 before it hit landfall, but we're not done. Now we got a geomagnetic storm. So the hits just keep on coming, and that's why the prayers keep on coming from me, our community. We're going to continue to stand strong, continue to prepare. And I'm going to be talking about that more in our Discord weekly call. That's going to be on Saturday, about how to be prepared for all of this. Another thing that we're preparing for right now is the correction before the election, and the big one that's fooling a lot of people right now. A lot of cheerleaders in this market thinking that everything's going to be A-okay. They forget what just took place. Now, I'd been talking about this in my past couple updates, but I actually missed a couple data points that even add and reinforce the point that we've been making here. Sven Henrik. It could be the biggest combination of coincidences. Some of us don't believe in coincidences, but nevertheless, it is a freak show. Comparing 2007 to 2024, I've already shown with you guys. First Fed rate cut, September 18th. Market hit a new top on October 8th or 9th, I believe, right? Same day. And the thing is, we missed the data point here. The market peaked out. So it hit a new all-time high, but then it peaked out 2 days later. S&P made a summer high in July on the same date. We were missing this data point too. So just like in 2007, same thing took place this year. We get a summer high in July on the same exact date. The Fed rate cuts start in September on the same exact date. S&P made a new all-time high in October on the same date, which was, I believe, yesterday. Yeah. October 9th. In 2007, the S&P 500 peaked on October 11th. So are we living in a simulation? Is this a coincidence? The market maker magicians, you know how they play. Either way you look at this thing, it's a perfect setup. All the data's there. where we're at the exact same spot in the charts. The euphoria's there. This time around, it's a different bubble. It's a much broader bubble, and it's a global margin call that's about to pop. The stock market delusions are about to be, the stock market is about to wake up to the reality, and the bond market's calling it right now, which is why yields are going back up on the 10-year, 20 and 30-year. The long end of the bond duration is going back up, is because people are calling the bluff. So let's stay ready, guys, because this is the moment where we saw the market peak out, and I warned about this over the past few weeks. Fed rate cut, market rallied for 2 more weeks, and then the bottom fell out. S&P 500 corrected by 57%. That's what happened in 2007. The dates, everything else is matching up. We'll watch from here closely, and we are staying liquid with cash on the sidelines to buy that dip. Thank you very much. S&P 500 is about to hit 50 trillion in market cap for the first time in history. It's up 22% this year, 40% since October 2023 low. Despite every reason to crash, a pullback of 5% is barely able to hold. Is this market unbreakable? And this is the sentiment, right? Nothing's stopping this. This is all, great news. We're just going to keep on chugging along. The point, though, that I wanted to bring up, though, with this 50 trillion market cap, folks say that XRP can't go to this price because it equals a $50 trillion market cap. And I've always said that you can't compare apples to oranges. Comparing a digital asset that can have derivatives, stocks, tokenized assets of every, form of value that you can imagine tokenized on the chain, why would you compare the market cap of that system, a new financial system, why would you compare the market cap of that to a market cap of a stock? Now, a closer comparison would be an index, because the S&P 500 is a broad index of the top 500 companies in the United States of America. So you start to get kind of similar. You start to, open up a conversation here. If the S&P 500 index can hit a market cap of 50 trillion, could a platform that's going to have derivatives, companies, real estate, bonds, everything that, memes, tokenized on this chain, could it reach a market cap of $50 trillion? I say anything's possible. I really do, especially with the amount that they're going to inflate and destroy the currency as well. Now, according to Gary Gensler, it is unlikely that Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency will ever be widely used as a form of payment. Well, if he continues filing all these lawsuits and stifling our innovation in this country, then yeah, he will get his way. He's part of the problem and the reason why we haven't got as much traction as we would have, going after the one company that is going to be widely used as a form of payment and already is, despite the lawsuit, despite the appeal, despite Ripple's cross appeal. The law of the land is that XRP in and of itself is not a security, and we can use it for its utility, moving value seamlessly, instantaneously, at nearly no cost. It's a great system. It's being used as a form of payment, and it's only going to expand further once we go smack you down in the courts once again. Now, this is what, the SEC and Gary Gensler, they've been launching Operation Choke Point. To the credit of the FBI, at least they're actually going out and exposing these criminals and actually busting some people. The SEC always shows up after the fact, after investors have already lost money. Well, the FBI, doing what they do here, they just created a token, Next Fund AI. And I love the fact that they threw AI in there, because the AI hype's been out of control. You throw AI in anything, just like back in the .com bubble, if you threw .com at the end of your name, you pumped it. Just like we said we were going to leverage metaverse, we were going to leverage AI. Nobody knows how they're going to leverage it, but you just throw it out there and it pumps your stock. So the FBI created Next Fund AI, a crypto token to catch suspects in crypto fraud cases. They used 3 market makers, ZM Quant, CLS Global, and MyTrade, are charged with allegedly wash trading or conspiring to wash trade for the FBI investigation. They also busted influencers, and I believe that there was 18 different companies and individuals that were arrested in this sting. Now, if you believe that this is the only time that the FBI, if you believe that this is the only crypto project that the FBI has their eyes on, if you believe that this is the only project that they help pump up and kind of instigate, right? Then our good friend Digital Asset Investor has an igloo in South Georgia to sell you, because they most definitely have been doing other projects. This is not the first time. We're just now finding out about this. And I've, called out a lot of this space. I've been doing this for the past 4 years, calling out all these influencers for pumping it up, all these market maker magicians for spoofing trades. Some of the biggest exchanges, nearly all of them are doing the same thing. This space is so fake. And that, brings joy to me to see that this is starting to get exposed. We need to get rid of this. Now, I'm sure that our government and the FBI probably spend $1 billion to do this, to arrest 18 individuals and, who did they save? Who did they protect? I don't know. I don't have the facts and figures in front of me. What we do know is that our government historically has been incredibly inefficient, just like the IRS that got an $80 billion budget or whatever it is and hired all these extra agents, and they only collected, an extra 1 or 2 billion? So they get 80 billion of funding, they go collect 2 billion, not even, and then they cheerlead. So I don't know how much this FBI operation cost us, but I'm glad to see that we're exposing the fraud and the manipulation in this cryptocurrency space. Let's get rid of it and let the real value shine. Like Gary Gensler is saying, this space will never be used as a form of payment. Well, yeah, this stuff's not going to. This stuff is the crap that we've been trying to tell you. This is what your attention should be on. Meanwhile, you're too busy, can't speak on any one token, can't do any deal, but we can give our free passes to Prometheum to be the first crypto asset security custodian. We can give a free pass to Ethereum. We can allow all this fraud to go about FTX. We'll let that one blow up. But God forbid, Ripple actually builds a real utility use case business with this technology. What's hilarious about this whole story, though, we have somebody here, Cigar on X, says, I noticed that your smart contracts are in direct violation of the MIT license and thus are subject to copyright infringement. You clearly copy-pasted several of Open Zeppelin's libraries, which use the MIT license, but don't have a license on the code yourself. The MIT license states this permission notice shall be included in all copies or substantial portions of the software, which you clearly did not adhere to in your contracts. You can find the FBI contracts right here. On Etherscan, I highly doubt any legal action will be taken, but it's pretty funny that the FBI themselves are not complying with software licenses. So on top of them probably being inefficient and wasting a lot of money in this operation, they also broke, copyright laws as well. They also broke software license and violated that as well. Leave it to our government. And, this is a great point right here. This is some Bitcoin conference in Amsterdam. And you got some guy right here who's speaking with a mask on. Digital asset investor says, I've lived through the entire internet boom and bust, and I don't remember anyone promoting .coms wearing a mask, and I can promise you they would not have been taken seriously if they had. This industry needs to grow up. What's this guy hiding behind, by the way? Jimmy Valley, our good friend, responds, I have spoken to numerous executives over the last 4 years about digital assets, specifically about their reluctance to adopt this new technology. The reasons are typically not what you would initially think. They think our industry is being run by a bunch of clowns. The SEC and US regulators like Senator Warren are not helping with their constant attacks on the industry either. Just like Gary Gensler saying that no tokens, Bitcoin, or others will be used as a form of payment. Neither is Vitalik picking boogers while rapping and dancing, or Joseph Lubin talking about disguised whales. Yeah, doesn't look good on our space, does it? But seeing this video, one statement an executive made to me comes screaming to mind. Quote, I have these kids in hoodies come into the conference room giving me a fist bump and then talking about Python for 20 minutes before I tell them to get the F out of my office. Digital assets are inevitable and we are going to do great things as an industry, but not until the corruption and circus performances stop. And that goes for you too, HBO, referring to the HBO documentary that just got released, saying that, what was his name? Paul Todd was the creator of Bitcoin, Satoshi himself. And I think it's so true, is that this space primarily has been pumped up by a bunch of clowns. And then to his point about, the kids in the hoodie coming into the office room and speaking about Python or code for 20 minutes before a business, CEO type probably kicks them the hell out of the office and says, I don't care how the code works. You figure it out. I'm running the business, which is what we need in this space. The adults in the room, and particularly the business room. There's a bunch of developers running around this space that don't want to spend any money on marketing. They don't want to represent themselves as professional. They, think that wearing a suit's stupid, and that's fine too. I'm not saying everybody has to suit up and we all got to sell our souls. What I'm just saying is take a shower, get a haircut. You got kids like Sam Bankman-Fried. It's, just came out, Ryan Salami doing an interview with Tucker Carlson. He said the dude didn't shower. All the dude wanted to do was work 24/7, 365. We had to tell him, hey, Sam, you're starting to smell. Go take a shower. Which, by the way, that's the engineer that you want developing your project. That's the guy that you want working for you, is the smelly nerd who is so consumed in his work that he doesn't leave to go shower. That's who you want, right? That's what made FTX grow so quickly, is they had some little crackheads working nonstop. But this space is growing up, and that's the good news. And this is part of a vision that's been going on for 20 years. Now we're starting to see Ripple's going to spearhead the legal battle, but we're also about to spearhead real utility, real business, serious players bringing real money into this space. Not just moving this coin on retail speculation, but moving projects, moving the entire space off of real institutional utility opening up. This is an old one that Echo to Truth found. Huge shout out to Echo, from Ryan Fugger, one of the co-founders of Ripple, and he was working on Ripple payments as far back as 2004. Quote, I hope to see banks using Ripple. This is from an old podcast from May of 2006, featuring Ryan Fugger, one of Ripple's co-founders. It's amazing to hear his vision for evolving money back then and to see how far Ripple has come today. Let's take a quick listen. This is just about 1 minute long.
It'll take a while, but I like to analogize to email. For one, the internet took a long time to get down the fact that the money is what we say it is. Money is just a way of keeping score. There are more efficient ways and more humane ways, let's say, of keeping score. So it'll take a while, but I like to analogize to email. For one, the internet took a long time to grow, and people took a long time to catch on and start using email instead of writing letters, and there's still people that write letters, but, over the last, 20 years, a lot of people have adopted email as the primary means of written communication. We're kind of in the middle of the same thing with voice. I mean, I'm talking to you over Skype right now, but most people don't even know what Skype is, and they continue to use the regular phone even though they pay $50 a month to do it. It's going to be slow, but I think it's inevitable that newer, more efficient, more open systems will slowly take over. And in my lifetime, I hope to see banks using Ripple.
People are very concerned.
I hope to see banks using Ripple. Remember, this is before XRP and the XRP ledger. Ripple payments morphed into the XRP ledger, and the XRP ledger was created by David Schwartz, Jed McCaleb, and Arthur Brito. Which the statement from Arthur Brito calling XRP the hidden plumbing, I'm going to show you that in the next clip. Before I do that, I want to make the point, though, today it came out, right, that Ripple is going to be offering their custody services to banks. So now it's not just Ripple offering cross-border payments through Ripple Payments or XRP to banks. They're also offering all their other products as well. So this is morph. This is 20 years in the making of Ripple Payments, and now Ripple's been adding. A lot of the FUDsters try to say that Ripple's pivoting. No, they're expanding. They're building additional pillars to the infrastructure that they're building out for their business model. Now, this is an old one here from Jungle Inc. He found this one. XRP is the hidden plumbing. I expect the majority of people who use the Ripple payment network to be able to ignore XRP. The value of XRP is probably less important than the spread. These are just a couple quotes here. This is an email exchange with Arthur Brito back in 2013. Now, what's so interesting about this story is that no one knows Arthur Brito. People know Arthur Brito. There's no pictures of him. The dude's completely a ghost online. But he says this right here. I think a lot of people get hung up on XRP for the most part. I expect the majority people who use the Ripple payment network to be able to ignore XRP. See, this is where the conversation about XRP not being meant for retail comes from, is because of what they were doing with the Ripple payments network and Ripple specifically targeting banks. They're trying to use this technology to service the banks in a way where you're just going to say, I want to send money from Alice to Bob. I hit send. My fee is almost nothing. It happens instantaneously. And I don't even know what is settling up on the back end. I don't even know that it's running on the XRP rails. XRP will just be the hidden plumbing. Payments in the Ripple network can be bridged through other currencies besides XRP. It is completely optional for payments to bridge through XRP. Generally, payments will only bridge through XRP if people find it more efficient or otherwise desirable to do so. This is similar to what David Schwartz just said in regards to RLUSD, where he said, hey, where it's desirable, where it makes sense, XRP will always be used. In some areas, in some corridors, in some payment flows, a stablecoin works better. For some use cases, a stablecoin works better. And if it's not going to be RLUSD, it's going to be another stablecoin, Tether, Circle, PayPal stablecoin. And so let's make it RLUSD and let's make it run across the XRP ledger. This is what we should all want as XRP holders. And this is why I'm excited. And I think that the stablecoin is going to be so bullish for XRP. It's just bringing more liquidity onto the XRP ledger. At the time a payment bridge through XRP happens, the value of XRP is probably less important than the spread, as transactions occur atomically, and the spread is what is captured as profit by the market makers on each side of the XRP trade and is the apparent cost of the counterparties. Now, as these flows get moved onto the DEX and then through the AMM, this is where we get to be the market makers. It's not just the banks and the market makers that are on the back end of the payment system. When these flows of liquidity tap into the public DEX and the public AMM, we get to participate in providing liquidity for these pools, these corridors, these pairs, and we get to collect those fees. So now this is the vision going back so far, is that it's a network, and Ripple obviously targeting their clients, which is banks and institutions, but it's an open source permissionless network that we can all add to as well. We can add and take from these open, deep pools of public liquidity. The Ripple network combines a currency market with a payment network. This encourages the instant settlement of cross-currency payments versus netting. For market makers to make a profit providing liquidity, they must beat all other competing market makers with the best rate. This should give excellent rates for the counterparties of a payment. I would guess XRP would only have the best spread if network participants want it to. And because of auto bridging and a couple other things that David Schwartz had pointed out, XRP in most pairings will always have the best rate and the best liquidity. What I'm excited is we're still so early. Like, we're still only, I think, at less than 15 million total value lockup on the XRP ledger AMM. We're just starting to get some flows building, right? This is nothing. We got a little trickle. They're about to open up that spigot, especially after the lawsuit. And I think even despite the lawsuit, Ripple's about to fire up some more of these partnerships. They're not stopping with their growth, adoption, and partnerships. Real-world asset tokenization, potential smart contract programmability coming to the XRP ledger along with other utilities too. This ledger's so primed. This vision's 20 years in the making. And for some folks, they've only been holding this asset for a year or two. Well, welcome to the party. You know, we're part of something that's been, in motion for a while. It's bigger than, hey, let's pump my bag so I can make some money. It's, no, this is going to truly revolutionize our financial system completely. Show me a better model too, by the way. I'm interested to hear if anybody can show me a better model than the XRP ledger, the DEX that's integrated into the XRP ledger, and how all of our functionality on the XRP ledger is going to be made available for everybody, completely decentralized without the need to go through an intermediary or a third party where you could be potentially exposed to counterparty risk. Now, we're also watching big whale movements. 52 million XRP transferred from Bybit to an unknown wallet. That happened yesterday. Big whale transactions happening. Is this banks picking up XRP? Who knows, right? We're speculating it's either big investors, Ripple partners, Ripple, making some deals happen here. And once again, this is a moment where a lot of people are going to just say, hey, this is done. XRP's not doing anything for the next 2 years. This lawsuit's continuing on. XRP's dead. They're going to sell their bags and walk away. I'm going to be making a separate video where I explain and break down why XRP will not miss this bull run. Has our timeline on larger prices and utility, all of that has been extended because of this timeline. But does it mean that XRP is not going to appreciate this bull run? No. Does it mean that our targets maybe need to adjust? Yes. And I'm going to be talking about that in an upcoming video. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. If you haven't already, make sure you guys subscribe, hit that notification bell. I appreciate everybody for stopping by here today. And I'm going to be dropping more content tomorrow. So make sure you guys circle back. And in the meantime, if you want to support our cause, make sure you like this video. Help me out by sharing it out far and wide. Everything is at zachrector.com, including our private community. And I got some quick links in the description down below if you want quick access. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you in the next one. God bless. Thank you. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.